So Aaron Murray answered a few critics, while Jadeveon Clowney probably picked up a few more. Mark Rogers TV and ProFootballCentral.com on Georgia's huge win at home against South Carolina, 41-30. Aaron Murray, 17 of 23, 309 yards, 4 touchdown passes, no picks. He finally can say that he defeated the Gamecocks. He finishes his career at 1-3 against South Carolina, but this game, a huge one. Compare those stats, 17 of 23, 309, 4 touchdowns, no picks, against his performance in Columbia last season. 11 of 31, 109 yards, no touchdowns, 1 pick. Of course, he spent most of the night in Columbia on his back. The Georgia offensive line in pass protection is so much better right now than it was in Columbia last season. Credit these guys. David Andrews, Canarius Gates, who got hurt about halfway through the game on Saturday, Dallas Lee, John Theus, and Chris Burdett. These guys had a handful of starts together last season in Columbia, and they got overwhelmed and ambushed by the South Carolina front seven. Today, they pass protected and they blocked up front for Keith Marshall and Todd Gurley. 30 carries for Gurley, 134 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. He's a monster after a 12-carry effort because he was dinged up against Clemson for $154, of course, in that opener. But still, he carried a load against a very, very good defense. And when he wasn't out there, Keith Marshall, one of the best in the biz, backing up Gurley, 7 carries for 58 yards. Couple key plays in this game. It was 24 all at half. It went back and forth in the second half as well. Then a key 3rd and 13 play when South Carolina had scored a touchdown, cut it to 34-30, although they missed the extra point. 34-30, about 13 minutes to play. Aaron Murray pulled through. He, on 3rd and 13, got away from the defense and found Scott Wesley down the field for an 85-yard touchdown that broke South Carolina's back, 41-30. Well, we thought possibly it broke their back, but South Carolina drove right down the field. Connor Shaw making plays with his feet, got them in position. But on 4th and 1, call it about 4th and 3 inches, Mike Davis took the pitch out of the pistol from Connor Shaw, and a kid who's made plays through these 2 games, Amarlo Herrera, made another play. It was the entire defensive front that strung out the play, but Herrera was in the hole to meet Davis and stop him cold. Herrera had 12 tackles today. He had 13 against Clemson, and he made this huge stop that pretty much decided the game. Then back to the Georgia offensive line, because when they had to make it happen in the last 8.5 minutes at their own 1-yard line, they got the first downs. They moved the football on the ground mostly after getting the one pass completion out to the 25. It was the Georgia offensive line and Gurley that wore down the South Carolina defense and held the ball for the final 8.5 minutes. Okay, some other news and notes from this game and some other things that we picked up. First of all, you South Carolina fans, let me know why Shaq Rowland does not get the football more. Of course, when we're watching on television, we can't see the play down the field. We can't see the coverage, can't see if the receiver's getting separation down the field. But when this guy gets the football, he makes things happen. Made an acrobatic catch on the left sideline when South Carolina was trying to come back and made that drive down to the 1-yard line. Made 3 catches on that series that were exceptional catches and broke through the secondary a number of times that he received the ball. 3 catches for 48 yards, but did not see the football in his hands until the 4th quarter. Also, Mike Davis is a better football player. And Todd Blackledge, it's funny that he made the comment just a couple plays after I made the comment to somebody that Mike Davis is a much better football player than I thought he was. He had this 75-yard touchdown run against North Carolina, but otherwise was kind of bottled up, 11 carries for 40 yards. In this game, against a Georgia defense, yes, that's not great. That's not as good as it was last season with all those NFL players, but still, we know what the recruiting situation is at Georgia. These guys are fast and they are superior athletes, and Mike Davis was running away from these guys, constantly turning the corner. Mike Davis was ridiculous in this game. 198 total yards, 16 carries for $149 against the Georgia defense. He was exceptional in this game as well. And you really have to hand it going back to Aaron Murray because he lost one of his best receivers, Malcolm Mitchell, in that end zone celebration in Game 1 against Clemson. So Mitchell's out of the game and lost for the season. He loses his best receiver last season in Tavares King. So now he's down to Chris Conley. He's down to Michael Bennett, who are nice receivers, but not elite. And Aaron Murray made it happen. He found 8 different receivers in this game. And of course, it was the work of Marshall and mostly Gurley taking the pressure off Aaron Murray. He only had to throw the football 23 times in this game. Jadeveon Clowney made a couple impact plays behind the line of scrimmage, 2 tackles for loss, 3 total tackles, but not what we're expecting out of the freak, number 1 NFL draft pick, Heisman Trophy candidate. I think we can forget the Heisman talk. The guy's not playing like a third-team All-America right now. Jadeveon Clowney not making enough plays, and I was disappointed to see him on the sideline a number of times on third down. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 7 plays, Clowney on the sideline a couple times, and one of those drives, Georgia eventually scored after converting the 3rd down. Connor Shaw made plays with his legs. He's a really good quarterback, not a polished passer, and not a guy who reads the defenses exceptionally well. Again, criticized, and the learning curve is for him to pick out the 2nd and 3rd receivers. But still, 16 of 25, and he gets big yardage with his passes. 228 yards, no picks for Connor Shaw, 228 yards. Ran for 75 and really moved the chains a number of times when South Carolina was playing from behind and needed plays from Connor Shaw, and he couldn't find anyone. He's a fast guy who finds the running lanes and makes things happen. Okay, Georgia wins a huge one. Racks up 538 total yards against South Carolina, a completely different showing from this Georgia offense against South Carolina than what we saw last season in Columbia when the Gamecocks annihilated Georgia 35-7. Okay, Georgia's got themselves back in the SEC race and possibly the BCS National Championship race as well. Would love to hear what you have to say. This is where you step up and let me know what you think about the South Carolina performance and Georgia as well, right here on Mark Rogers TV and ProFootballCentral.com.